I have a box problem. So I don't have a lot of clutter everywhere in my house. Like I'm a professional organizer and I know I'm not allowed. That's not true. We're allowed to have clutter too, but I don't tend to have a lot of clutter. But the one thing that builds up over and over again for me, boxes. So many boxes. So I talk about in our clutter how if we have recurring clutter, that it's serving us in some way. And so what I'm always looking for when I work with people is your clutter coming back over and over again? When it comes back, where is it? And what is it? So for me, the recurring clutter that I have in my house is in my Harry Potter closet, which is the like little closet under the stairs. And it's always these guys. So generally what this means to me, what the box is, like it's a really tricky thing. So I'm going to tell you what happens in my mental process and then tell you what it means. So generally speaking, when I make an online order, I will order something and then get a box. And if it's a good box, you know what I'm talking about, if it's a good box, then I want to keep it. And even if it's not a good box, but it's something I might return, then I want to keep it because I may need to use it for a return. So I will put it in the Harry Potter closet because it's out of the way and I don't have to look at it every day and it's there in case I need it. But because I'm not always in there, I don't always see it. So then what happens is I just keep it forever because I don't go in there very much. And then eventually what'll happen is I'll go through and I'll want to purge that space because I need the space or I need to get to something. And I suddenly realize I can't get in there. And why can't I get in there? Oh, these boxes are here. So when I talk to people about how we're using our clutter to help us in some way, there are 5 different ways that we use our clutter. And one of them is for security. And what I mean by security is it helps us feel like our needs are met, right? So for a lot of people who grew up with a heavy trauma history or maybe didn't have their needs met when they were growing up or have a fear of, you know, them not being okay, they might need to use physical objects to create a sense of security, stability, safety. And that's exactly what I do with my boxes. So my trauma response, one of them is flight. So when things feel dangerous to me or scary, one of the things that I go to is I'm going to go. I'm going to move to a new city. I'm going to run. I'm going to escape, right? And that's one of the ways that I have survived in my life. And it's worked for me in many ways. And then many ways it does not work for me. So, So one of the things that happened to me in 2020 is when the world fell apart, because at the time I was primarily working in person, my income completely went away and my whole life instantaneously changed in like a moment. And it was really hard and really scary to lose all your income, to have to rely on the people that you love to, house you and take care of you was a lot. And it really like made me feel unstable in a way I don't prefer. And I know that I'm not alone in having experienced that during the pandemic. And one of the things that it did by going through that was it exacerbated my thought that I have to be ready to leave at any time. I have to be ready to move at any time. So there's a part of me that holds on to these boxes to use them for a return. There's a part that might hold on to like this one at the top, because it could be a really cool one to decorate and give someone a present in, right? There's these like creative ideas like, oh, this is so great, or practical, functional ideas. But there's also a part of me that collects these boxes because I might need to move at a moment's notice again. Because having had that experience, it doesn't not impact you. It doesn't not make you question if you're safe, how things are going to go. And so this is a thing that continues to come up for me in my own life. And so what do I do about it? So for me, I need to work on it with someone else. It's too heavy and too big for me to work on alone. So I work on this with my therapist and we are making great progress. And I feel very grateful to have found someone and to be having a good experience with them. The other thing that I need to do is I need to be transparent. Like I'm sharing it with you all because this is real and this is real life. I am not interested in giving you some fake after picture or before picture or version of my life where I'm just perfect and you should listen to me, because that's not real. Like this is real. What's real is sometimes I get scared that the world is going to fall apart again and I might have to move. And that's really scary to me. And these boxes make me feel like if that happens, I'm going to be supported. And so I work with my therapist. I do regular purging of the boxes in that room, right? I let myself have a regular time where I say, I'm going to work on this. We do in the Chaos to Calm community. we get together and we do what I call organizing playground sessions. And that's where we get on the computer and we all organize in our own houses and do our own projects. And so this is one of the projects that I have to do on a regular basis because it is something that builds up out of practicality. And then if left to my own devices, I will totally turn my Harry Potter closet into a box storage. So I have to make sure that there are safeguards in place that will keep me from keeping every single box that I might need for a move. And every single time I go through these boxes and every single time I purge, I am able to make contact with the part of myself that is worried that she's not going to be okay, that is scared that the world is going to fall apart and she's going to need these. And instead of telling her she shouldn't be thinking that and there's something wrong with her, instead, I get to love her. And I get to say to her, it makes sense that you feel that way. It makes sense that you're scared. We lived through something really scary, and we've had a few of those in life. And no matter what, if we have to do it again, we're going to be okay because we're always okay. Like, we're always going to be okay, even if right now is not okay. There's always a way to move through it. So, yeah. So I'm just wanting to share that with you because I want you to see how clutter can build up. And it's, clutter is tricky, right? Because these are just boxes. It's just stuff. Like, it's not even clutter. I mean, it's clutter because I don't prefer it in my house, but it's just physical objects that are doing something to try to help me. And so I have to continue to try to help me without the physical objects. And that's the work that I do with my therapist. That's the work that I do in the organizing playground. That's the work that I do with myself through meditation and just, even journaling or talking to friends about, like, how do I create a feeling of stability and security inside of myself in a world that feels like it's going to implode at any second? And for a lot of us, that's, a conversation we need to have on a regular basis. So if you are feeling like you are holding onto an item to provide security for you in any way, please know that that's normal. Know that you're not alone. Know that there is a way through. And one of the biggest ways through is to make peace with that part of ourselves. Know that we may always have that version of us that we need to take care of and love. Like, I may always have a little, like a little girl inside of me who wants to run. I may have her in my, psyche for the rest of my life. And what will help that is not to tell her that she's not welcome and shame her, but to welcome her and say, I'm with you. Like, I'm with you and I see you. And do you need these boxes today? Like, let's talk about what the options are. Let's brainstorm. What if we did have to move? What would that look like? What's possible? And what is also the likelihood of us needing to move? Not very high right now. So it's okay. Like, just continuing to be a loving presence to ourselves that we really need. So I invite that today, every day. May we use our clutter to continue to come home to ourselves, to create homeostasis and peace within ourselves through facing the complicated clutter pieces in our lives. And that's what I wish for myself. That's what I wish for you. Sending so much positive energy and so grateful to have you here.